Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we discuss movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. Today we are discussing minute 104. 104 begins with Gunny, Aponte, and Corporal Collins all posing like they're Charlie's Angels. And the minute ends with Swede doing I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and firing that M60. Hey, I'm Brian, and today I got my boy Perry here with me.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. Still in North Carolina with the visit.
Yeah, man. It's a long visit, man. I'm glad you could still stay here.
Yeah, I know, right?
We ended the minute with Collins halting the platoon, basically, and now he's giving some hand signals, calling everybody around. Gunny's kind of sees what's going on. So basically, they came to a path, and there's a bridge. At that bridge is basically, they got some, what would you say, sandbags, like a fighting position, basically.
Kind of an impromptu fighting position. Well, actually, for as no longer as they're supposed to have been there, they got a pretty good job of setting up a little position there, like a little firing pit, a gunner's nest.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, because they got a machine gun there, it looks like, and then a couple Cubans come running, because these guys are in the same uniform as the men that Gunny killed last minute.
Yep.
So they come, a bunch of them actually. At first you only see two. But then you see a bunch of them come running across the bridge, basically. They're protecting that bridge, probably trying to keep anybody from coming on in, But Recon, they improvise, they adapt, overcome this minute. They come up with a plan to get across this bridge, as we'll soon see.
Pretty fascinating plan, too. I mean, it's a movie plan, obviously, but still, Gunny's quick on his feet.
Well, you say that, but this is taken from real life.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, this is a friend of mine used to joke that this movie's stolen valor. So what we're setting up here is as these guys, as the Cubans are coming. Actually, before we get there, I just wanted to point this out. We see Recon sneaking up on the Cubans.
Yeah.
They don't know anybody's there yet. And of course this is not in the subtitles. I just hear it in the background. I think one of the guys says, "Hey, pendejo," and they say something else to each other. They're really talking shit to each other.
It is, as soldiers are apt to do.
Right, yeah. So it doesn't matter what army you're in. You're going to talk shit to your buddies. All right, so this is what happens in the movie. So they see the guys there. They basically start taking fire. Stitch comes up, says, "Hey, we forgot the beer and the hot dogs. I'll go back to New York and get them." Gunny, also not quick on his feet, says, "You run your engines as good as your mouth." Jones says, "Jones is the name, Hotwire is the game." He goes, "Forget it, go with them." So basically, what this is setting up is we get a shot of a bulldozer sitting there on the road, right?
Randomly,
you're right. It is randomly there. It is a random bulldozer. They just happen to be there. Stitch runs over, they're shooting at his feet. He gets into the cab. Forgetti does ride along the side on the outside with him. He hotwires it up. They start it up. They're going to use it as protection.
Yeah, field expedient light armor.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically a tank and protection for the troops. This happened in real life.
You gotta be kidding me.
No. So basically, this happened with Army Rangers. I was starting to set this up that my friend of mine who was attached to a Ranger unit joked about how this movie is a bunch of stolen valor. This did happen. But it was the Rangers that did it. So I went to the wearethemighty.com. It's a great website. That time, Rangers stole a bulldozer for an assault vehicle. And it says, when Rangers were taking Point Salinas on Grenada during Operation Urgent Fury, they faced greater opposition than they expected. Luckily, the enemy had abandoned bulldozers on the airfield in order to hamper the Rangers. So the Rangers just stole them and used them as assault vehicles.
That is dope. That is so cool. Okay. All right. Well, they're a product of the 80s, so, I mean, that cute A-Team music.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's exactly. The only thing is they didn't get locked in a building with them first with blowtorches, so they could have done something about it. Yeah, it says something about, they were at the airfield, and they were attacking the airfield, but it was being expanded by Cuban engineers, and I think we've kind of hinted at, or talked about that a little bit before. It was like 650 engineers, but it turns out they were heavily armed, and they were Cuban regulars, I guess. When the Rangers began to fight the engineers, the Rangers hotwired bulldozers and then used them as assault vehicles. It is pretty fascinating. Just one of those real life is stranger than fiction type things.
Yeah, man, because I would have never believed that this would have. I would have been more likely to believe that somebody would have seen this movie and then been in a situation and been like, oh, look, I have an idea. I'm going to copy that thing that I saw in that movie one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because it said something about over Cuban 100 soldiers and 150 other defenders surrendered to the Rangers. But basically, what had happened is in advance of this invasion, Castro had sent some Cubans there to help fortify. So that's what they were actually doing. I think previously it had been built as a legitimate airfield,
Right.
but then they were fortifying it ahead of the invasion. So basically, they were actually taking a lot of heavy fire, more than they expected. But they also didn't want to risk any casualties if they didn't have to. So they said they spotted several abandoned bulldozers on the airstrip, and some of them knew how to hotwire the simple machines. So they did so. This is what it says right here. The Ranger fire teams advanced using the bulldozers for cover, firing on the defenders as they found them. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's about 100 Cuban soldiers basically surrendered, and they captured the airfield.
So I wonder if the Army created a field manual for how to hotwire vehicles, and because I mean, it seems like that would have been a pretty neat skill to have. Like, it's proven to have been effective at one point in time.
Yeah, that would totally be. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, even Captain America knew how to do that. If in the Winter Soldier, when he stole that car, Black Widow asked, "Hey, how did you know this?" He goes, "Hey, we hotwired a lot of cars in Germany." Or what? He goes, "When did you learn to hotwire a car?" He said, "Not, Germany, whatever, 1940." So, yeah, it's an Army skill going way back.
Yeah, going way, way, way back. Yeah.
We only had those the old Humvees that so we just had to push a button and it started.
Yeah, I was the asshole that sent looking for Humvee keys one time. I didn't know.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I don't know if I knew that ahead of time or something, so that one never fell for me.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was that asshole.
No, I just went around looking for a prick E6. So
yeah. Yeah, you got caught with the other one.
The worst one, I say.
Yeah.
So while these guys are stealing this bulldozer, so I mean, granted, in real life it happened a little different, but this was supposed to be an Army movie, and it did happen in Grenada, so they're trying to take some true to life stuff.
It's good for the action.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool moment, but you're right. Like on screen, it is a one lone random bulldozer for no reason. So
yeah, like why?
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any construction going on around that bridge. Nothing like that.
No, it seems like something too. You would probably like. If it ran, which obviously it did, like, why wouldn't they just park it up closer to the bridge to, like, I would keep it closer to you. You just use it as cover. Or...
Well, they did that because then Gunny could hotwire it.
Yeah.
Well, not Gunny, Stitch. He sent Stitch to do
Gunny
it.
could order it. It was because it was Gunny's idea.
Well, he also ordered Swede, friend of the show. He said, "Get up there on that M60." He's like, "Yep." Actually, Pete talked to us about this particular scene when we asked him when I kind of was wondering if he was worried about ever getting injured, both in the pit fight and then this scene, and he said, well, he wasn't worried, but he was definitely aware of how of the what did he say, like the potential for injury. Yeah,
because even in training, man, we get the hell beat out of us running around doing that stuff. Land on an M60 or, in our case, a 240 Golf.
Yeah.
Any of the weapons, just you running and throwing yourself down, land on a rock wrong.
Yeah, and he's a big dude too. I mean, granted, he was a football player. He was used to throwing himself around.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got that extra weight. You got the pack. You got the boots.
Yep.
You got the the weapon, and and you're just landing on rough terrain. Anything can happen.
Potential for fuck up is high.
But I mean, this movie. I mean, this minute is a firefight. It's and some improvising and adapting and overcoming.
Yeah, just left that damn bulldozer in the middle of the road, facing the right direction. How fortunate.
It is fortunate that it was facing the correct direction as well. And I like how Gunny's just sitting down. Like that's not Gunny's sitting and returning fire. So there's three main positions. There's a standing, kneeling, and there's the prone. Right. Sweet goes and gets in the prone position when he's after doing his dive. Gunny's doing I've done this shit too many times. I'm just going to lazily lean to the side on my butt cheek and do some return fire.
Yeah. He's
probably more effective than everybody else there doing that even. So. Yeah. But do you have anything else you want to cover this minute?
No, these action-y minutes, man, there seems like there's more to kind of peel apart with the dramatic moments, even when there's not a whole lot of dialogue than there is. Good guys shoot, bad guys shoot back. good guys shoot more at bad guys, and scene.
Yeah, I mean, there is some witty dialogue, and there is obviously some true to life stuff that happened here. But as far as, yeah, they're shooting and they're shooting back. As far as we can tell, nobody gets killed in this minute,
Yeah.
so it's not even the high drama isn't there.
Yeah, they're just laying down a lot of cover fire so they can move around.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I mean they're getting ready to advance. Well, if that's it, we can just see if they do advance to Friday, and find out if they can. I mean, they keep getting roadblocks literally along the way to this college, so hopefully they get there soon. So yeah, we'll just ask everybody to come back on Friday. Hope we can spend a couple more nights here in North Carolina so that we can have you here for Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you run your engines better than you run your mouth for this podcast.
No, not really.
All right.
I run my mouth way better.
Well, anyways, I forgot the beer and hot dogs, so I'll be going to get those while you run your mouth.